I'm Ernest C, Director of Diversity Programs at New Jersey Transit. My department is responsible for developing programs that will help small vendors, specifically minority, women, and small businesses get contracts with New Jersey Transit. NJ Transit is the commuter service for the state of New Jersey. We run the buses and the trains in the state. We also go into Philadelphia and certain parts of New York State. Specifically, my department will put together developmental workshops. What I mean by that, we'll provide additional skill training for vendors who might need to upgrade their accounting skills. If they're in the construction-related field, we'll provide technical workshops such as blueprint reading, project cost estimating. We'll provide them with information on how to get bonding. We've established a relationship with various banks to provide loans for our vendors so that they could finance whatever projects they're looking to undertake. We'll also participate in outreach activities such as business-to-business or business card networking events where we'll bring in our in-house professionals, our end users, and we'll invite small vendors to come in to talk one-on-one in a comfortable environment where they can talk about their background, their experiences, the projects that they're on, and how they're hoping to assist New Jersey Transit. Other organizations give similar events, and we actively participate in those events either as sponsors or setting up a booth whereby we can give out information about opportunities at New Jersey Transit. NJ Transit was formed by the state legislature, and we're basically financed by the federal government, by the U.S. Department of Transportation. So being that we are a recipient of federal funds, we're mandated to have a disadvantaged business enterprise program. And the purpose of that mandate is to ensure that minority and women get fair opportunities to compete on our projects. So our goal is to review every contract prior to it going out to bid to determine should we place a disadvantaged goal on that particular project. For example, let's say we're building a garage, and that garage is $1 million project. We'll review that project. We'll look at our database to see how many ready, willing, and able firms we have that can participate on that project. And we'll set a goal. The goal could be 10%, 15%, or 25%, depending on the availability and the value of that project. After that, we'll contact these firms to let them know that there's a project out there that they could participate on. We'll introduce them to the prime contractors. The prime contractors know that they must subcontract with the minority or woman-owned business if they hope to win that particular bid. Once the bid is won, then we do the compliance. The compliance piece kicks in. And what happens there, on a monthly basis, both prime and subcontractors must submit monthly progress reports to us. These reports include payments, what was invoiced, what was paid, the task that the subcontractor is performing on, the value of that particular task, and the percentage of completion into that task. And we also ensure that the subcontractor that was subcontracted is actually on the job utilizing their staff for that particular project. And we ensure that the subcontractor gets paid on a timely basis. So that's one of the basic functions of New Jersey Transit, of the Business Diversity Office, along with the other aspects that I mentioned in terms of the workshops that we put on. Our goals at NJ Transit goes beyond just providing subcontracting opportunity. We want to assist firms in growing to the next level. We don't want a firm to stay in the contracting mode. Our goal is to get them to the point where they are now primes, where they compete on a competitive basis with prime contractors. Also, that's the goal of the Department of Transportation, because they do have a threshold of how long a firm can stay in the program. If a firm has a person net worth of over $750,000, they're no longer eligible for the program. Or if their gross receipts reach a certain level for a 3-year period that is established by the Small Business Administration, they graduate out of the program. Graduation is a good and a bad thing. The good thing is they must be doing very well to graduate. The downside is they still might not be ready to compete or run with the big boys in the contracting field. But basically, we want to ensure that these small firms eventually become big firms, where they can compete for the bigger piece of the pie of all the opportunities that are out there. And one of the ways we achieve that, one of the many ways, or several of the ways that we achieve those goals, as I mentioned earlier, are through the workshops that we develop. And I think I mentioned a workshop we just completed, the estimating cost, of course, for costing out projects, so they can more accurately determine what a project is actually going to cost them to perform on. We do the bonding so they can be eligible for bonding. We make arrangements with banks so they can get the loans to finance the program. So there are a lot of things that we do to help us to reach those goals and the wishes of our small contractors. How do we implement these goals? Basically, I think I mentioned it. We implement those goals by financing these particular programs. We also sponsor other organizations' programs. For example, SBDC, they have an Expo coming up June 16th. We're a major sponsor of that particular Expo, and we'll have an information booth there to talk about opportunities at NJ Transit, and specifically our major project, which is the largest public works project in the state of New Jersey, the new rail tunnel. And it's simply called the tunnel that's being built underneath the Hudson. It'll be 100 feet underneath the bed of the Hudson, come out underneath 34th Street, underneath the subway, into a new Penn Station where the present 8th Avenue Post Office now sits. That's going to allow us to get more trains into New York. It's estimated that we'll take about 35,000 cars off the highway during rush hour, helping to alleviate traffic into New York, as well as the environment, to improve the environmental conditions. It's estimated about $8 billion in commerce will develop around this project, and about 6,000 new jobs, permanent jobs, will be created because of this project. So that's a major, major project. Our task is to see to it that our small contractors are in a position to handle the subcontracts when they come due. These subcontracts are going to be large. They're going to be multi-million-dollar contracts. So we need to begin training our subcontractors now so that they can partake of these very large subcontractors. There is also a labor problem. Right now, there's not enough skilled labor force to participate on this project. So we're presently in the process of doing mentorship programs, apprenticeship programs. We've contacted various vocational schools in Bergen, Essex, and Union counties to network with them, to partner with them, so that when the construction phase kicks in, we'll have a trained, skilled labor force. We'll have a better and a more well-trained and well-positioned small contracting force to handle these projects for this major tunnel project that's taking place.